What's going on, people? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Yash Talks Football. And to double check, you can actually hear me because my sound isn't currently working. Now it is. Okay, right. Hopefully it should work. If not, I'll check in the edit. But we are back again. This time for a decent chunk of transfer news because over the past week since the season's ended, we've actually got quite a lot of stuff to cover. Liverpool have done business. Chelsea is starting to do business. Manchester United have done business. The only thing that I haven't really heard is Tottenham, and then obviously we've got some Arsenal business, but I will talk about that last because, yeah, I'm not happy with what I'm seeing at all. But if you are new around here, like, sub, share, do whatever you got to do to help the channel grow. Depending on what time this video will come out, because my computer at the moment is for some reason not connected to the internet, so I'm relying on mobile data to Google these articles. But um, we are going to start with Liverpool because they are doing what, I'm being honest, I didn't think they would do. Because let's be real, that we know what FSG are like, we know what their owners are like. They are similar to the Cronkies in certain aspects. However, Cronkies actually do put money in. Where FSG go wrong is they don't put money in at all. We criticise Cronkies for not making the right decisions when it comes to transfers, who we sign, what manager we back. However, FSG, they're looking serious, and then they're looking like they're definitely going to try and have a go at retaining this title. They signed Jeremy Frimpong from Bayer Leverkusen, who is pretty much the Trent replacement. So it would likely be him, and then Conor Bradley is backup, like he was last season. They're also signing Florian Wirtz as well for a record 130 million. That's being reported. Apparently they submitted that offer. I do expect that to get submitted. Because I think since Eric Ten Hag has gone to Leverkusen now, which is hilarious. Um, he's obviously going to want to invest some money into his team, and that money will probably be fucking Onana, Anthony, probably get all his Ajax people back. But yeah, and Liverpool also looking at Kirkes as well. I haven't seen any concrete evidence to suggest that the that is done. Kirkes to Liverpool. Yeah, Kirkes. There isn't actually like much. This says they're advancing in talks, but not too sort of concrete yet. But if they get at least them three through the door, Verts, Kirkes, and Frimpong, which is already done, they're looking serious at retaining this title. They signed Van Dijk up to new terms. They signed Mo Salah up to new terms. Um, I think the only thing they're going to probably look at now is maybe some sort of forward because Nunes ain't it. Jota, I'm not sure what's happening with him. Um, Luis Diaz, I've heard links to Barca throughout the whole season. So I think they still will strengthen in their attack. And to be fair, with Liverpool, the one thing that they have on their side is that they have not spent at all in the past, three windows. They signed Chiesa last season. Um, they signed no one in January, so they have money to spend. And they've even had the Lavia and Caicedo money lying about. Everyone knows that they had that sort of money, which only makes sense that they're going to spend it all this season, which this window, sorry, which makes perfect sense. And look, they've not they've won what two Premier Leagues since the Premier League began. They have a massive chance to re retain this title. They got a good manager. They've kept some of their best players. Yeah, Trent apart from Trent, but he's going. They've also got Mamoulasvili from I think it's Valencia. I think he's going to be the backup to Allison because I think Kelleher's going to go. They're looking serious, and it's looking sad for my club in particular because if only we just had that bit of ambition, which we don't, which we'll get onto later. Um, and also City are it's not just them. City are looking serious as well. They're looking at Tijani Reinders uh, from Milan. He looks a decent player from what I've seen. They were looking at Florian Wirtz, but that's obviously gone down to Liverpool now. And to be fair, when it comes to Manchester City, they have to replace in their attack anyway. Kevin De Bruyne is gone. They need to replace. I'll say replace. They need to get someone in for Jack Grealish. I think Jack Grealish might go. Doku's not let's be real. And they also need to hope Foden and Rodri come back up to speed. Rodri obviously done his ACL, and Foden, he had a terrible season, and I'm surprised that no one's even talked. I've heard nothing about Foden's bad season at all from anyone. Not as loud as it should be, but yeah, they need to hope that he gets back fit this season because yeah, when he's on a good run of form, he is a very good player. He's one of the best players in the league. When he's actually on it, so they need to strengthen their attack. And I've heard from a lot of City fans that they've not been happy at all with when it comes to their recruitment, and it's mostly come from when they won the treble. They thought, yeah, we've done the treble, we've done you know, it's not like we have to actually get any more players, and then we'll just rest on our laurels. However, they just about won the title. They just about won the title on the last season after that when we were 1 point behind them, and they've obviously fell off a massive cliff. Apologies for the fucking music outside if you can hear it, and they fell off a cliff this season. Let's be real. And the fact they finished third just shows how shit the league is. Let's be honest. So, yeah, and they're also looking at Ray and Aït-Nouri as well from Wolves, which I think Wolves are going to be in massive trouble this season because the Cunha's gone, Aït-Nouri's gone. Obviously, Neto went from Wolves to Chelsea last season, so they definitely could be a relegation contender. Um, if they don't replace it adequately, which I don't think they will. But that's all for another video. When the season starts. So yeah, Aït-Nouri to Man City, that is definitely one to look out for because if that happens, um, he will definitely be valuable in their attack because going the other way, he's not that good defensively. He reminds me of Zinchenko in that way and Calafiori, decent on the ball, however, just shit at defending. And um, to be fair, with Rodri coming back, they sort of got that defensive foundation there anyway. In their back line, so they may be able to cope without him being a sort of liability at the back. But yeah, City are looking serious. When it comes to the 1-1-5, I think they've bust case. I think we know that they have because it's been going on for what 3 years now, and nothing's actually been said about it, which shows to me that Premier League is trying to find a way to spin it. Because they know they fucked up when they've investigated them. So yeah, City are looking serious as well. I think Manchester United, Cunha is pretty much through the door. And Wemo, they're looking at him, but he's looking at Newcastle as well apparently. Um, while it's all good that Manchester United are starting to look at better players, they need to look at clearing players out as well because they've got Garnacho who's pretty much gone. They need to replace Rasmus Højlund because he's shit. Um, Casemiro may or may not stay. I'm not too sure because he is aging. Ericsson's gone. Ugarte for me isn't good enough. They need to get some adequate wing back. If Amorim's going to stay, which it looks like he is, they need to get some adequate wing back cover as well because Dorgu, I've not been that impressed with him. I've seen some good things. I think there is a player in there. However, at this moment in time, I don't think he's really the right option. And at the wing back is definitely one to keep, obviously. And they've been playing Dalot and Mazraoui at wing back, which I don't see that being beneficial to them at all. And to be fair, it's all good with Man United playing with wing backs. However, I think at some point Amorim needs to be a bit more flexible when it comes to his system. But yeah, it's Cunha they're looking at, which will definitely be a massive upgrade on what they got now. And Wemo, which will 100% again be a massive upgrade in their attack. And if they get Ryan Cherky, which I don't think they will, I think they get Cunha. I don't think they get both of them, if I'm being honest. And I think if they do, it's got to rely on them with their outgoings being driving them some good money because we've seen how you know bad of a financial state Manchester United are when it comes to Jim Radcliffe and that. So we need to they need to make sure they can get some good money with the players they sell. I think on that show, I think in January, he was linked to Napoli and Chelsea. So I reckon they will be coming back in for him in this summer. But yeah, that's it with Manchester United. The final one that we've got to talk about, unfortunately, is Arsenal. So we got Zubimendi through the door pretty much. However, I did see some random source saying that he might change his mind to go to Real Madrid. I don't believe that. I think it is done, um, which is a good replacement. Good strength and depth in our midfield. Having Partey and Zubimendi in that sixth position is good. It's just we all know what we need. We need quality in attack. There's no two ways about it. And we need a better manager as well. That's a whole different story. Um, but the quality in attack we're apparently looking at is Benjamin Sesko. Um, I'm hearing £92 million that Leipzig are asking for, and he's on about 100 grand a week at Leipzig. So the wages are going to be high, which I'm not happy about. Even though it's not my money, the fact we're signing him on that high of a money, which that high money is going to be an issue. Um, it's 92 mil asking price. I think we'll pay about 60, 70 mil for him in the end. I don't think we'll pay that much for him. How much that they're asking for anyway. And look, whenever I have watched Sesko, which is only a few clips and a few highlights. I've not watched Leipzig fully to even tell you how good of a player he is. And I watched him in the Euros. To me, he just looks like Kai Havertz with pace. I saw someone on Twitter describe him as Kai Havertz and Timo Werner put together. Kai Havertz's stats his sort of ball control, his ball ability, and Timo Werner's pace. That's all I see in Benjamin Sesko, and a lot of goals that I saw from him are on the counter attack, on transition. I've not seen much at all when they're sort of trying to break teams down because that doesn't happen in Germany. Teams play high lines a lot in that league, and we never see his true. We're looking for a striker that can help score goals when teams are camped on the edge of the box in a low block, and we got to break them down. Which that does come from the creativity side as well. Martin Odegaard and Declan Rice's job, and Saka's and obviously Martinelli's or Trossard, whoever plays there, that relies on their job as well. And I'm I think it's not too harsh to say that Benjamin Sesko won't help us fix them problems. Because in my opinion, I don't really think he does. Because the one that I wanted to look at was Jokeres, and he's on about 40 grand a week at Sporting. His transfer fees what 65 million euros. I'm not sure what that is in pounds. He's the ideal option. However, Arteta is stubborn, and he wants someone who can drop deep into midfield. He doesn't want an out and out striker. And look, I want Jokeres. I think he's a decent player. However, I'm hoping this isn't a power struggle between Andrea Berta and Arteta. Because to be fair, these Sesko links they've been coming in throughout the whole season. So I'm not sure that Andrea Berta was definitely a fan of this. However, I'm just hoping that it's a case where Arteta's been crying out for this striker for a while now. Give him the striker, and if he doesn't, you know, do anything, then you sack him. He's been given what he wants. Well, in my opinion, he has been already because he's given about what £800 million should this Sesko transfer go through. So he's been given what he wants. Now you have to deliver. If you don't, you're sacked. I'm hoping that's the case because I can't because we've seen throughout this sort of start. Well, I say build up towards a window that Bert is a fan of Jokeres, Arteta is a fan of Sesko, and they can't decide which one they want to do. And I'm hoping. Look, the ideal situation, if we want to live in the ideal world, is that we get both. However, we're not going to do that. I think we will get Sesko. I think that Sesko deal is pretty much done. So we'll have Sesko, Zubimendi. We still need a creative midfielder. We need another number 8. We need a left winger. We need cover for Saka. Another defender, I think we need in my opinion. I think another couple of defenders we actually need. And we need another backup goalkeeper or someone to challenge David Raya. So, yeah, it's going to be a tough summer. I don't think we'll get all of it. And I'm not looking forward to next season, but I'm just hoping that this Arteta guy goes. Berger can take over when it comes to the transfer side of things and we get a good manager. But yeah, it is what it is. That is your, I guess, transfer roundup from all the stuff that's been going on this week. Let me know what you guys think. Do you agree that Sesko isn't enough? What do you guys think of the other clubs making transfers? And also Chelsea I've got to say Liam Delap. That's pretty much done as well. A lot of people are sleeping on Delap because I actually think he's a decent player. You know, for Chelsea. Yeah, he's championship sort of. People say he's championship level, and that he's not good enough. However, the guy was playing for Ipswich last season, and you can't really thrive in a team that creates fuck all and does that bad in the league. But yeah, I think that's a good transfer for Chelsea. And I think they will spend quite a bit this summer. So yeah, if you guys are new around here, like some of the content around, do whatever you got to do, and I'll see you lot in a bit.